With China, I mean, there's a real problem.
Intellectual property.
Right, as we know that that country requires so much of American companies when they go into that market and giving up the IP and, you know, just the intrusion by the state in that country into American companies, foreign companies, pretty significant. So yes, our intellectual property is at risk there, and I think something needed to be done. I'm not so sure that the sense of we need a bilateral trade war between China in the end is a right long-term play. I think short-term it can rattle people, and we're seeing that. One of the positive byproducts of what President Trump's been doing, though, is that China has said, hey, we're going to open up our markets more. Now, we'll see whether they're going to follow through on that or not. But I think long term, let's look at where the Chinese are and the size of that market and the fact that, you know, they have a card to play in terms of the treasuries that they buy as well. And when we see interest rates now where they are, which are still low, but the Fed is signaling the fact that it's raising rates increasingly. If China were to join in on that, which not necessarily going to be in their interest short term.
I was going to say, if you're one of the biggest holders, why would you punish it?
And they can always buy China, or I mean, they can always buy German bonds at 0.5%.
Right. That's the problem, which is not necessarily in their short-term interest. But think about it, though. If they were to go in and essentially sell dollars, you know, what it will do is aggravate even further the interest rates in this country, which obviously is not going to be good for us. But I'm not so sure that they would do that.
I'm not so sure they'd do that, but maybe the way you come back is on the currency front. For a long time, they have been releasing some of those holds and letting currency go ahead and fluctuate. What if they just decide to go ahead and put pressure on it and drive the dollar up comparatively as a result?
Right, and that's the flip side, and that's for them. It makes us less competitive internationally. Because on the other side, if they were to do the opposite, you know, obviously it makes us more competitive, and they wouldn't want to do that.
But we have more wiggle room because of the size and strength of our economy and the prosperity we already enjoy to some extent.
Yeah,
we were just talking about, you know, Canada and Mexico and the kind of leverage we can exert, and we don't necessarily want to do that. You know, as the biggest person in the room necessarily, but you know, other countries might feel pain more quickly and maybe more than we do, and I think there might be something to that. And
well, the whole mindset is, though, he's trying to drive towards bilateral relationships versus this sort of multilateral platform of the WTO and the rules that have been put in place. And I think that's where the other countries are in a little bit of disbelief at this point of like, well, what in the world happened?
The WTO let a lot of stuff that patently is unfair. They're toothless, aren't they? Teethless, toothless.
We've not seen sort of the international organizations perform very well over time.
Are they toothless, or is there a chance that the WTO will rule against us in some of these latest tariffs?
This is the thing. I mean, and this is what we risk, because if we're going to go flout these rules, because you know the precedent that's being set by using national security to go in and slap these, you know, pretty significant tariffs on. I mean, by the end of the first week in July, we're going to have all the retaliatory tariffs in place, and we're going to begin to see, and it's $75 billion. And again, our economy's large, and we can, you know, I'm not saying we can take that, but again, if it escalates from there, if we actually go in to these moves in terms of Europe and the autos, I think then we're into some serious issues.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.